Last podcast, we were doing a
What's
little
that?
talking about OU football, dude. Talking about the Salmon brothers, talking about the Foster brothers, talking about all sorts of different things. So I did a little research real fast, and Leroy Selmon, who, by the way, everybody is about to have, him and his brother's going to have a statue outside the OU football stadium. He was the first pick of the 1976 NFL draft, right? So, and on that 75 national championship team, there you go. There's a little picture of my old coach, Jerry Foster, a bunch of rando guys, including his son. I'm number 22. They're at the end on the other side of the coach. Jerry Foster was on that 75 national championship team with the Selmon brothers. And there you go, man. That kind of gives a little background there. Great shit, dude. I love what we were talking about on our other podcast. It's called No Offense Sports. We call it No Offense, No Offense. It doesn't matter. You call it whatever you want. But we're pumped, man. We've been having a ton of fun on that. We just finished recording that episode. We talked about college football, NFL football. Man, what else did we talk about? We talked about everything. One thing we started getting into, but we didn't get all the way, was Draymond Green's comments on Kevin Durant. He said, bro, and I do not quote, but basically he felt like KD was on his way out before we were up 3-1. It was the style of basketball that KD was jealous of. He wanted to be out there with Steph and Clay and Draymond. He didn't want to be on the Thunder, and a little thing like a 3-1 lead was just getting in the way, man.
Makes total sense. Like you said, we've talked about this in prior episodes. The last storm is, we believe that Draymond Green was in KD's head, and they were hanging out in Golden State after games and stuff like that. And man, it was just the way it was. It sucks. It really sucks. But the reality is, it sucks more because we could have gotten whatever we wanted for KD if we had traded him earlier that year. And it just sucked because we could have at least been able to come back from not making the playoffs the following year. Or, well, making the playoffs, but barely.
Dude, I mean, it's some rough shit, bro. And looking at Draymond, he keeps talking and he keeps ripping off scabs, and look, we already knew it, right? We already knew KD checked out during that series. You can watch the film. It's right in front of you. It's obvious. But hearing from the guy that was, made it his mission to talk down to KD about the team, about Russ, about what we had going, and act like even though they were losing in the series, that they were better off. It worked. It was a big, giant psychological trick. And if KD had just stayed locked in, bro, I'm not fucking around, bro. If he had stayed locked in, we go to the finals.
Hands down. If KD was locked in, hands down. So
when Draymond says this, bro, I feel like, honestly, the more he talks, and I didn't feel like this at the first. I felt like this was some dirty shit, some shady shit. But I start feeling like this is some cheating. I feel like we might be talking about something like, you go back to the Chicago White Sox from the 20s, and there's a reason they call them the Black Sox, and those guys were banned from the Hall of Fame. They fucking cheated. And you get into this level of, one game from the finals, and then you convince a player on the team that's up to quit. I don't know, man. This feels like the same genre.
I mean, you see something like this happen, and especially with the way he's flaunting it, because, everybody knows Draymond Green. He's going to maybe sugarcoat shit, but he's not going to make things look, worse. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he knows that if he comes out and says, if he knows that if he comes out and says he told KD to blow it if he wants to come back in Golden State, and he knows if he says this out loud, then it's over. He'll get suspended. There'll be this huge investigation. Even now, Adam Silver is shut the fuck up. Draymond, shut up. We don't need to have an investigation about this, because right now, I guarantee you, there's people calling for an investigation.
Should be.
And if there's not, then shame on some NBA executives for not coming out and making this more of an issue, because this is what we've had an issue. Yes, we understand that players are going to have friends on the other teams. We understand that. That's inevitable. But what's happening is that as more information's coming out about this, it's starting to paint a picture that, you know, KD was essentially, it was told, KD's going to lose this series. It's over.
Yo, if you think back about some of the ways that some of the interviews, even the owner of the Warriors, Joe Lacob, sitting there being like, we got this when they were down. I mean, I always talk about his phrase, and he was like, we are light years ahead of every other team. Right. And I think about, like, he knew Draymond was talking to KD.
Oh, yes.
And he knew that there was a
psychological
good chance.
Warfare.
And KD wanted to test the market to make sure he was accepted before he like took the leap. And it wasn't in that boardroom meeting that everybody talks about on Long Island or wherever it was. Like this was something that was
this
locked
happened
up
in the
during
deep
the
bowels of this is it's starting to feel like Draymond Green says, "Hey, KD, come here. I want to introduce you to somebody before we go to locker rooms." And they go into this dark, deep hallway and this back door and this little conference room that has no windows, no lights really, and it's the owner and the GM and it's Draymond and
Bob
Steph.
Myers, Joe Lacob.
It's all the people that are the shakers and movers of this organization. They're like, we want you to play for us. And we'll do whatever it takes. We'll win you a couple championships. But in order for that to happen, you need to lose this game. And the next game. And the game after that. That's what we'll know that you're all in. And we'll do whatever it takes for you to come play.
You believe
for
it, bro? You think that happened?
It sounds like it, man. It's like, I know I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? I love to talk about good old conspiracy theory. But think about this, man. Right? How does somebody not care like this? And then people later on that are friends of theirs that played on the team are calling him out about it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's way more that was to this than anybody will understand. And that's why, to me, I look at it, I'm like, well, why has the NBA not done a serious investigation on this? Yes, it was probably the best thing for TV ratings and all this other shit, but come on. You know, like, bro, what the fuck?
You know what it makes me feel like, dude? I remember when we were kids, we knew this guy. I don't remember exactly how we knew him, but he swore the NBA was scripted. And I think he was just fucking with us. This is back when Michael Jordan was still in the league, so I could understand why some people would be like, oh yeah, like the refs and the league is, you know, orchestrated to give Jordan, you know, championships. I understand that mentality, but he took it a step further. Like a step that I could never take it. He started comparing it to the WWE. I mean, if this did happen, I would feel like that. I would feel like this is a version of the WWE where it's not actually real. Like, so if this did happen, bro, like if they were scripting championships and they were just like giving us a taste and we weren't ever going to get one.
Yeah.
Right. What would the punishment be if they found out? If the NBA came out and they're like, look, this happened. Like they talked, that was tampering. It was in the middle of a playoff series. They agreed on a deal and they executed it. Is that like, can we ban the owner? Can we ban people from the fucking Hall of Fame?
If there's proof.
Yeah, I want.
If there's proof that it was all done beforehand, that this was an agreed thing that everybody agreed.
Here's the proof, bro. Like, let's just say, hypothetically.
KD never makes a Hall of Fame.
Okay, so hypothetically, if it's out there, say the NBA says, okay, we're going to do some investigation, and Draymond Green's like, he's been like keeping the text messages. And they're like, well, we have all of this. Everybody else is smart enough to delete them except for Draymond. And we've got Draymond's messages, and they have it. They completely have it, bro. Then what? Do they take away championships?
Like I said, no, they don't take away championships. They disallow whoever's involved to be a Hall of Fame to continue in their careers in the NBA. Most of them are older guys now. You're talking about forcing a team to sell. I mean, you're talking about complete like disruption to everything. They'll be able to keep their rings and everything else like that, but everything as we know it will change.
I mean, because to me, like this is about the integrity of the league. This is like the type of thing whenever you talk about like the referees cheating and stuff. Like there's a certain understanding of like competitive balance, and people have to be all on the same page. And if big markets can start recruiting small markets' best players during series, like the whole thing is off, and it makes none of us feel like it's fair. And if that's the case,
So
bro, the league has to earn the respect of the fan back.
Well, and the fallout for the dirty refs, and I say refs, plural, because I feel like this is something that a lot more refs do, is there's a known thing that you don't call fouls on superstars.
Right.
You know, like, you just don't. And you can look at it. Like, listen, LeBron James is a phenomenal player, but he gets away with a lot. Period. You know, like, you could go down the list of the star players. It's yes, there are star players that foul a lot and they get fouled out of games, but if you go back and look at the film, they've really had like 14 fouls that they were given. And they fouled out finally. You know, so like, stars are different, and they've been always treated different, but you know, I keep going back to all the things I've seen about refs that cheat and refs that do this, but is it cheating if the commissioner is requesting these refs to call games a certain way? Is that cheating? Or is that just what the commissioners told them, which they are employed by the commish?
Right. I mean, it comes down to like, is it training versus is it giving them instructions about a specific player, right?
I think what they need to do is that the players and the refs need to be in the same player ref union together.
Never gonna happen, bro.
Never gonna happen. But you know why?
Why?
It's because then they're accountable to each other.
Yeah.
They're not accountable to the ownerships. The refs aren't accountable to the ownerships or to, you know, the league at all.
But it's long been the way that the league controls the product on the court is by adjusting the rules and telling the refs we're going to emphasize this factor or that factor. I think that's kind of in a big way how the league controls who is successful, right? Is like they change a rule, like the sweep through rule. They took that away from KD. They do these different things and they say, oh, this person's too good. You go back to Wilt Chamberlain. They widen the lane for him because he could just straddle it. And these types of things are how they limit players' effectiveness. They say what's working for them, and we're going to take that away. I think Wilt Chamberlain missed his second free throw line and just dunk it, right? And so like, okay, now you can't cross the line until. So they changed the rules, and I'm with you, but this is not a rule on the court. This is a rule, and it's kind of what really gets me fired up about Draymond doing. I feel like he kicked Steven Adams in the nuts a couple times. And then he's continuing to kick the Thunder fans in the nuts, and he's laughing. He's like, he knows this is fucked up. There's nothing right about, you know, this conversation. What is he talking about in the end? You know, the fact that he can claim that he knows what KD wanted, like, could you imagine like another one? Like, okay, so I know like Barkley traded teams, and he went to the Houston Rockets from the Phoenix Suns. They had won a championship. They had won 2 championships, right? And so now he's championship hunting. What if the rumors came out that during the playoff series, Barkley told Olajuwon, I'm coming to your team even when I'm up on the series, if they were. Or like the second championship, right? Clyde Drexler wasn't there for the first one for the Rockets, but he was there for the second one.
Sure.
The only reason I know that for sure is because he told me that, because I got it mixed up. And I was like, you beat my Knicks. He's like, hey, I didn't beat your Knicks. That was the first championship. I came to, after the Blazers. I left the Blazers for the second one. And so he got there back to Houston where he went to college. But what if during the previous series, he was sitting there telling his old teammate even, Olajuwon, hey, I'm going to come play for you. Like, this stuff would be ridiculous. And then first of all, and second of all, people would know not to talk about it.
Yeah.
But here we are. And Draymond's just like kicking us in the nuts, bro, over and over and over again. And you know what? I don't feel like anybody gives a fuck, because you know what? We're the Thunder. If this happened with the Lakers, if this happened with even like the Knicks, who people would be like, oh yeah, I totally understand why they did that. Oh man, people would be pissed. But the Thunder, they're kind of like, oh yeah, well, fuck them, dude.
Draymond Green, man, sometimes he fills the silence with words. You know, have you ever watched one of the interviews where he says something and then the other guy's like, whoa, and he feeds off the reaction.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, I got a better story than that type thing. And I get it. It's what he does. Some of it Like, he'll come back and be like, "Oh man, I wasn't serious," whatever. But this situation, the more we hear about it, the more we bring it up on the podcast, because it's something that's raw still. No matter how many times or how many years it goes by, it's still like he's sitting there with salt on the wound and just shaking it, laughing, and just calling us small market, haha,
yeah,
small market, like, Draymond sucks balls, bro. I really fucking hope that this dude gets a straight up elbow to the face that really inhibits his ability to understand whatever, man. This is crazy. I can't handle his talking anymore. I need
him to keep talking, bro, because the history books are still yet to be written on this, and I know that we're never going to get the investigation that we deserve, but in the end, like, we can always point back at Draymond's comments, KD's comments, and say, like, look, like, were they actually having a physical fucking affair? I don't know, but it was definitely an emotional affair. I don't give what anybody says. And at some point, like, they started fucking. Was it before he left us? I don't know. But they were definitely talking. So you can't act like it wasn't cheating, because it was definitely something. Because it was like, you knew that you had that set up before. Like, oh, well, we never fucked. That's bullshit. Like, you fucked right after you left. You fucked probably before you left. That's how you knew you wanted to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want to get too carried away, but I'm thinking, like, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Scarlett Johansson. What happened, bro? What happened? Like, he was with Scarlett, and then it's Blake. And I'm sitting here being like, I'm feeling like Scarlett Johansson.
I don't even know who I feel like. I just feel like this is, the more he talks about it, the more I just want to, like, just sit back and just be like, I like, why? I get it. I get it. He's selling tickets, guys. That's what he does. But I don't know. I just, again, to me, this is a lot bigger than just a, little kid's game. This is real life for a lot of people. And the way he's tantalizing and playing with our tweener all this time, like, I don't appreciate this, man. He can go fuck himself.
Yes. And I think we need it at the Thunder games is, like, they have those, like, pop shot and those different types of things.
Yeah.
If you had a kick Draymond in the nuts thing, that it would, like, depending on how hard you kicked it, it gave you a score. I think that would fit right in somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. You can win a T-shirt if you get to, like, the 100%. Like, a T-shirt says, "I kicked Draymond in the nuts."
Bro, have you ever, like, considered what people are willing to do for a free T-shirt at these games?
Oh, I know, dude. It's insane, especially if it's a good little phrase.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, they go from sitting there for a timeout to somebody goes, and they're like, pick me, and they're never gonna pick you. They wave this T-shirt in front of you, and then they go, wave it in front of a different part of the crowd, and wave it over here. And, like, you want the T-shirt? You want the T-shirt? Dude, you know what it's like?
You want
it's
this?
Like,
no, you can't have it.
Yeah, man, it's like if you were to go to, like, a homeless encampment and you had, like, a dime bag of heroin. Like, hey, who wants it over here? Who wants it over here? Nobody's getting it. I'm leaving.
There's a couple good T-shirts they're giving away, though.
Oh, dude, I got my playoff T-shirt still, bro. I gotta find that one, but yeah, man, playoff game T-shirts. I'm looking forward to those coming back, dude. Those are classic. I wonder if there's any resale value on those.
I don't even know. I'm just glad you gave me one year.
Well, I got to go earn some more by getting into the games, dude. But all right, so here's a question, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave one key factor out, and then you tell me: is it worth this to gain 3 inches in height? Where the guy had his legs broken, okay? Oof. And he had metal rods inserted into his legs. And then once a month, they increased the height by 1 centimeter. And overall, he was gained 3 inches in height, but it was a series of breaking his legs and re-breaking them over and over again, basically. Is it worth it to go from 5'8" to 5'11"?
Man, that's a good question. As somebody that's 6'2", no. But as somebody that was 5'8", maybe.
Here's the thing, right? I understand this obsession with being a little bit taller, but like, okay, at 6'2", when I see somebody that's 6'5", I'm like, damn, that would be cool to be 6'5".
Right.
But is it really cool to be 6'5"? Like, I don't know that 6'5" is automatically cool. Like, clothes are harder to buy, harder to fit in. Everything is sort of a problem. Like, going on flights isn't exactly easy, but you're not like, oh, automatically 6'5", you're making it to the NBA. There's no guarantees about that one. Like,
True.
You're probably not even big enough to be a point guard in the NBA, modern NBA, but maybe, like, if you're explosive, right? But here's the deal. 6'5", me, is not going to the NBA. So then I'm stuck with a 6'5" frame in a world that's made for 5'11" people. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'd be content because obviously, like, you get a little attention when you walk in the door. I wouldn't be like, oh, I hate my stature, but like, you know what I think? I think you're better off with a Napoleon complex than ending up being like, I used to have a Napoleon complex, broke my legs, and now I'm satisfied, even though you've got nothing going for you. Like, be pissed off at the world for treating you bad, and then you have the edge that you need to fuck shit up. But if you're just like, well, I just fucked my legs up and now I fit in. No, make the world get down on its knees for you.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would go through. I mean, I say that, but obviously there's for obvious reasons out there. But when
what
you're
if it was 3
5'8",
inches in length to your dick? Would you go through?
When you're already 5'8", you know that's how tall our dad is.
Say
He's
you
5'8",
had a
so
say you had
it's not
a
that
1.5 inch dick. Would you do it to get to 4.5 inches?
If they've had to break my dick every single time,
just 1 centimeter at a time.
am I gonna still have the same some feeling sensation every time I get a hard on, or am I gonna lose that?
That's the thing. It's, you don't know.
Well, then no. Give me my 1.5 cock.
That's our advertisement for this one. Dave said, "Give me my 1.5 inches." All right, and then rando story, bro. Go ahead. You go first.
No, I was just gonna say, Chencho is one of these days we're gonna find a time for him to get on here. We just keep on missing him. Today I have eye appointments for my kids that I gotta leave here pretty quickly for. But anyways, want to give a shout out to Chencho. We are going to get you on the show, man. I promise you. Just keep on tracking. We're gonna get one of the times that's gonna work, and we'll make this work.
Yeah, dude. We're looking forward to meeting you in person and having you on the show. Definitely appreciate your friendship all these years, man, and looking forward to it. So stick with us, bro. We will have you on in no time. Bro, I think that's about what we got to talk about. Man,
let's just not force it. We talk Thunder, man. We got off topic the last couple of podcasts, but this is really what we do, man. Is the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's our passion. We love it. We love talking about this team and what we see with this team and shit like that. So yeah, man. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we're getting close to training camp. We'll get back focused on the team we have, but if Draymond's gonna rip off some band-aids, fuck him, dude. We got time to talk about this shit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk shit when we can about Draymond, just because we can.
For sure. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us, and we will be back on Wednesday. So we'll see you then. Thunder up.